Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Turn it up.
What's going on, everybody? What's up, PNP Nation? We had 607 episodes, y'all. PNP, we are here in the building, about to talk some Survivor Series predictions. Yes. What's up? The people's wrestling channel. There you go. Rito's in the building. What's up, my man? We are here having a great time as we do every single week on the Pancakes and Powerslams Show. This week on the after party, I've got some trivia. Ladies and gentlemen. Some PNP Survivor Series trivia. I spent some time today to type up some questions, some Survivor Series questions. So it's going to be fun. So hop on the after party. And we got some Survivor Series trivia. So it's going to be fun. I like asking Survivor Series trivia questions that aren't very difficult, but cause you to think a little bit, and also doesn't really mimic a lot of other questions and a lot of other Survivor Series questions. And so that's what you're going to see. So always nice. Always love the way you announce my channel. Good stuff, man. PNP Army for life. Retail, you have a litany of questions, which I love, and I'm about to address them. We're going to jump into the predictions. Yes, the predictions for the Survivor Series. I have it up here on my big screen. So we are going to go to the predictions. All right. Predictions, and then I'm going to address these. I'm going to address these questions, all these questions here, which are great questions. All right. So Let's start with, so there are only 5 matches announced for War Games, or as Adam Pearce would say, War Games. I don't have glasses. I don't want glasses either, but he does the glasses gimmick when he take it. What's my T-shirt of choice this week? Ohio State Buckeyes. It is the Buckeye week, and so that is my T-shirt of choice this week with Brutus right there, Brutus Buckeye, and I am so pumped. I'm so excited. I am ready to rock and roll. This is Beat Michigan week. As many people know, I am a diehard Ohio State Buckeyes fan, and I'm ready. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm ready to rock and roll. Saturday can't get here soon enough. 12 o'clock, I will be glued to my television, and I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm so excited about the game. Av is in the building. What's up, my man? All right. Let's do the predictions first, and then we'll go to these questions here. Gunther Miz, I think that's super obvious. It's Gunther. See, that's the thing. Same thing with Rhea Ripley and Zoe Stark. Back in the day, there were matches that weren't as predictable. The storyline leading into the match made it seem as if there were some opportunities, like maybe a little slight chance that the other person, the non-champion or the person or the non-favorite to win or the underdog, maybe there's a slight chance for them to win the match. But the problem is you don't really get that dynamic anymore, unfortunately. And it's sad, but you really don't get that dynamic anymore. And you have matches that are so predictable. Gunther Miz is super predictable. There's a less than 1% chance that the Miz will win. And if he does win, it really doesn't help Gunther's stock, because a 1.5 year reign just about is broken from someone who has not been booked. And I'm blaming this on the booking, has not been booked strong for a long time. And so you just automatically bring the Miz in as a babyface contender for the IC title, because clearly you don't have anybody else, because he's, the Miz was just fine as a heel. He's always gotten really good heat as a heel. And so now you're making him a babyface, and I'm just not buying it, man. They're not making him. They didn't make him strong. They never. I mean, they haven't made him strong in a long time. His record this year, the first half, was just abysmal. I remember saying on one of my shows that he hasn't won a single match the whole half year before he started winning a couple times recently. And so you poorly book him as a competitor, and all of a sudden I'm supposed to believe that he's going to be the next Intercontinental Champion against someone who's been completely dominant as a singles competitor since he's came on the main roster. And he's beaten, person after person. He beat Drew at SummerSlam. He beat, Sheamus at I think it was Clash at the Castle. They went against each other. He beat Drew and Sheamus at WrestleMania. And so he's having these, really good, tough matches. And for some odd reason, we're supposed to think that he's going to lose to the Miz. I'm just not buying it, man. It's just very improper character building, and it's very improper booking. So I'm not a fan of it. Honestly, I'm just not a fan. I think Gunther's going to win. He should. There's absolutely no reason why he shouldn't. And what's next for Gunther? And that's the problem. There's no one being set up in the wings, in the shadows, waiting for Gunther to go against, So not a big fan. Same thing with Zoe Stark and Rhea Ripley. I mean, Zoe Stark is another person who athletic, well respected as far as just her in ring abilities. Um, and but WWE has done a very poor job building her as a legitimate threat. And so why am I automatically supposed to think that she's a legitimate threat? That's what I don't get it. I don't understand. Somehow I'm supposed to automatically think that Zoe Stark is a legitimate threat for the women's championship. Rhea Ripley's had that title since what? I mean, WrestleMania. She beat Charlotte, right? So she's had that title for nearly 8 months now. So she's dominating for nearly 8 months. And somehow the person after 8 months of dominance from Rhea Ripley, it's been longer than that because she won the Royal Rumble too. But so almost an entire year of dominance, especially, champ since April. So nearly 8 months of dominance. The person who's supposed to end this dominant streak is none other than Zoe Stark. No, like Zoe Stark hasn't been built up strong enough to even make that sound believable. And so that's the problem. It's not, I would, encourage Zoe Stark to really focus a lot on her charisma. I mean, a lot of times people, they believe it's an it factor and charisma can't be taught, but I tend to disagree with that. I mean, if you're confident in yourself, like for instance, Ben Stein was very charismatic, and this is what he would do all the time. This was a very stoic Ben Stein that would have Clear Eyes commercials and have Win Ben Stein's Money game shows. He was just very, stoic and very monotonous. And so but that was charismatic though. Like he was appealing even with that. I mean, same thing with Gilbert Gottfried. Gilbert Gottfried, when he was a comedian, he's passed away, but I mean, the dude had a screeching, annoying voice, but he was so charismatic, man, because he honed, he owned it. He honed his craft. He owned it. He was confident in his abilities, even with the screeching, annoying voice. If that was a voice that you would have to talk to every day in college, I mean, people would be like, "Oh man, that's Gilbert. He's coming over here." I mean, like, but at the same time, he was so good at what he did. He owned it, and he made it his own. He grew confident in his himself, and I think that takes a lot. The more you do that, the more people start to appreciate and respect your vibe, start to respect your aura. If you're not confident in yourself, it's hard for people to be confident in you. And so I think it's important for Zoe Stark to really start to hone in her craft more, and she would seem more of a believable character. In the ring, she's got it, but as far as character, she's got some ways to go. We got the War Games men's. So this is interesting, and we'll get to the questions here in a minute. I do think the baby faces win, but here's an interesting topic though. Could Randy Orton swerve the baby faces? And it would be interesting. It would be interesting. I would be intrigued to have Randy Orton either do one of two things. I can see one of two things. I can see either Randy Orton, basically Jey Uso and Randy Orton are the last two people in the ring, the last two survivors, right? And so you have Randy Orton gets tagged in by Jey Uso. Jey Uso's about to walk outside the ring. Randy Orton turns Jey Uso over. Boom, RK out of nowhere. He leaves, so Randy Orton gets counted out. Turns on Jey. Jey gets the pin 1, 2, 3. That can be based on the notion of, The bloodline's been running roughshod. Drew McIntyre, he made sense. His what he said, I agree with. Y'all have been doing this for 3 years, and all of a sudden you're expecting me to like you or think, I've been paying attention. I've been injured, but at the same time, I've crossed paths with y'all too, and so I do think it would be cool if he did something like that, just for shock value, man. I'm not the big, crash TV or just kind of shock TV without much coming from it. But I do think creating some shock does help episodic television. And I do think that creating that type of shock would be really interesting. One, or the other option would be to have the same type of scenario, but instead of Jey Uso, you can have Cody Rhodes. So you can have Cody and Randy as the last two people on the babyface team. Cody tags in Randy, and as Cody is walking out to the outside of the ring, Randy Orton turns him around, boom, RK out of nowhere, and that can lead to a feud between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes for a couple months, 2 or 3 months. Because I do think that they're trying to bring people in as filler for Cody as they're setting him up to go against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And so they're throwing people in as filler in order to buy time to set him up for Roman. So I do think that they could do that. I do think that we could be seeing Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton as a feud coming up, and maybe even a Royal Rumble match, in January. Because if you think about it, it'll be a 5-week feud, about 6-week feud or so, leading into Royal Rumble, or maybe actually a little less than 2 months. Because if you think about it, Royal Rumble's at the end of January, so yeah, 2-month feud, yeah. So you can have a match between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble. And so then after Cody Rhodes beats Randy Orton, then that's a huge win and big enough for Cody to have that type of stock, in his character. And as far as that type of win leading into a match versus Roman, if there's any person that he can beat to make him seem like a legitimate main event competitor against Roman Reigns, it would be Randy Orton, of course. So I'm actually more inclined to say that Randy Orton could turn on Cody Rhodes. And it's easy. The reasoning would be absolutely easy. I mean, you come in here, you've been gone, and all of a sudden you think that you can, be a main event player, and you think you can come in and go against Roman Reigns and have these world heavyweight championship opportunities, and I haven't had an opportunity in a long time, and don't you think you can come in after being gone for so long? And you can easily do that. You can easily make something out of that. So Cody versus Randy Orton, and this be the start of it, I actually wouldn't be opposed to that. As far as so that would make the heels win the men's War Games match because of that. And so I do think the baby faces are going to win the women's. I just don't really see Damage Control winning. I mean, especially since you got Bianca, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. A 4-on-4 women's War Games match to me is just, as far as the War Games, why not do 5-on-5? Find somebody else for both. But I do think the women will win. And then Carlito versus Santos Escobar. I know Mysterio's injured, so they had to throw somebody in there and to fill in for this feud. And he just got surgery, and he'll be out for a while. So, I mean, I guess since Santos just turned, they want to make they want to make him strong still and have him go against and have him beat Carlito. I mean, that's my guess, and it just seems like they just brought in Carlito as just kind of like a meaningful mid Carter. So I suppose so. All right, let's address these questions before we go. Address these questions real quick, and then we're heading over to the after party for these the Survivor Series trivia. All signs point to Randy staying face. I'm not sure about that. I think if you turn against Cody Rhodes to set up his match with Cody, I think that would be interesting. Why do you believe spoiled him? I think you mean WWE spoiled him being the fifth member. Yeah, I spoke to this in my my other shows. I think that they spoiled him being the fifth member because they wanted to go ahead of the curve and make sure that they're kind of diluting the CM Punk chance because they don't want the crowd to be disappointed that CM Punk will come out. So if it's not CM Punk, which it won't be CM Punk, any fifth member, it could have been Hulk Hogan, it could have been anyone. I do think that they would get some type of booze because the fans would have been disappointed that it's not CM Punk. So what they did from a PR move, which was smart, is they went ahead of the curve to make sure to curb, at least slightly curb the disappointment that would have came if, it wasn't CM Punk. So I think that's why I did that. Do you think they should have kept it a surprise? No, I don't. I don't think so. Based on what I just said, I don't. Do you think Bayley's turns on her team, or will she get kicked out? I'm all for Bayley being a face. I think I've said this before. I think her heel run is been long expired. Yeah, I mean, Bayley turning face. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Dakota is kind of left out there too. Yeah, I don't know. Bayley's. I mean, she's really playing into the heel character, like not liking the fans, and I think it'll take some time to assimilate back into a babyface character. And I'm just not a big fan of like someone turning babyface because they got beat up as a heel. Like you didn't want to turn babyface, but you had to. Give me a good story with that, perhaps, but just because, no. How many face turns do I see happening? 0. Yeah, I don't see anybody turning face. Do I see the Bloodline and Judgment having a feud starting at Royal Rumble? No, I don't. They're both their heels. You see the Bloodline recruiting Ava, a.k.a. Simone, Rockstar, to join them. The Bloodline, no, because Reigns is hardly ever there. And then Solo is just kind of doing his thing, but he's in a weird spot. Jimmy's kind of like a lackey, so they've been diluted so much. It's embarrassing. Which Bloodline and Judgment Day members do you see having the most potential? Judgment Day, Damian Priest, because he has the briefcase. Bloodline, nobody really. Solo, but they've dwindled him down tremendously. Do I think WWE would keep Carlito in the LWO, or do I see him going on a singles run? I think they'll probably keep him in the LWO for now, especially since Ray is out. All right. Let's see real quick. You got love for Hardball. I think Gunther versus Miz will be decent, and this is going to get over Miz turning face. I don't think so. For Miz to still be relevant after all these years is cool. Yes, Gunther is winning. Rhea versus Stark would be good. Stark is getting a decent push, but Rhea isn't losing until Mania. She's not been pinned since May last year. The match would be decent. but she's not getting a decent push. She's just being thrown in as someone for Survivor Series. After this, I don't see a push. Take the Buckeyes and the 3.5. You daggone right, Michael. Oh, JBL on SmackDown. You darn right, Michael. Carlito versus Santos should be good, but Santos wins. No point in him losing. Yeah, no point in him losing. I agree. Let's see. What the heck? Okay. Do you see Kaiser being one NXT for Gunther? Probably Mania. Next for Gunther. No, not as a babyface. No, he's really good. I see Damage Control taking the win, put them over as a dominant faction. They had the highest rating segments for the past couple of weeks. No, because what you could easily have someone pin EO, and there's your opportunity for someone to have a title match. At the you can have one person left on the babyface team, one person left on the heel team, which is EO. You can have that person pin EO. Because again, I'm thinking long. I think in the future. I think about longevity and how this is going to work and how this is going to tie into something bigger. And it would be easy. It would be an easy transition for EO to be the last person on the heel team, a babyface to be the last person on the babyface team, and there you go. Or guess what? If you're going to build up Bianca versus Charlotte at WrestleMania for the world's the women's championship. So the women's world championships on Raw, and then the women's championships on SmackDown. I think that's what they're doing with that. But you can have Charlotte and Bianca be the last two people on the women's team, and then you can have EO, the last person on the babyface team, and then you can have EO, the last person on the heel team. And then you can have Bianca beat EO, and then Bianca thinking that she should have another title shot because she was the last survivor. But then Charlotte get upset because, get a little jealous because she was, the last person to sole survivor. Again, thinking about something bigger. You can use this to draw out a bigger point, to draw out a storyline with this. Charlotte, Bianca is the last two people in the babyface team. Charlotte starts to get a little bit upset, start to get a little bit jelly. And then, all of a sudden, you have dissension between the two. And then you can always have, them going to triple threat match. Charlotte wins at Royal Rumble, wins the title again. And then you have Bianca Belair, winning Elimination Chamber to become number one contender because she's trying to get back at Charlotte because Charlotte, attacked her right before Royal Rumble because, she got feverish and couldn't handle it anymore. And then you have Bianca versus Charlotte at WrestleMania again. Wasn't Gilbert Gottfried in Aladdin? Yes. I can see Cody winning. I don't see Orton turning. I would have Reigns versus Orton at the Rumble rather than Reigns versus Knight. Reigns versus Orton might be, again, Reigns versus anybody doesn't really do much. No. Team Cody winning doesn't do anything. It does absolutely nothing to progress storylines. Nothing at all. If you have Orton turning on Cody, that progresses a storyline. Got to think big picture. Do you see someone returning? I don't know what that means. There is no tags in War Games as anything goes. Yeah, that's right. It is too. It is too. Okay, so it's not elimination. So there you go. I mean, you can easily have all of them out. You can have the baby faces out, and then you can have Randy Orton, RKO Cody and gets pinned. I mean, you can still do the same thing with that. Tell Cody to leave his winter coat home. Yes, he needs to leave his winter coat home, especially helping his comrades attempting to compete against Judgment Day. Leave your coat at home, Cody. Makes no sense. What if Cody is setting Jay along? Could be. Cody is never going to feel on Reigns' level no matter who he beats. I agree with that, but the WWE is they don't agree. Why do you think wrestling moved from storytelling? Because people like pops. Because we've unfortunately navigated to a culture that is impatient. The patience sucks. They just want a bunch of pops, and unfortunately, wrestling is starting to go along with that, but it's not helping their product. There's no eliminations in war games. Yes, I know. We just talked about that. Do you see the best in the world returning? Who's the best in the world? I know who you're talking about, but no. CM Punk's not going to return. No, he's not going to return. All right, y'all. Let's real quick head over to the after party, patreon.com/Pancakes and Powerslams. I'm going to do the trivia question. We'll have some fun. Until then, have a happy Thanksgiving. God bless. Real quick, since fans are so upset at Reigns, title reign, after it's over, what is left for WWE? I think nothing really. I agree, nothing, because they haven't really set much up. I mean, probably Cody and somebody, Cody and Drew, or Cody and somebody, and it's just not, it won't feel the same. But have a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks. Enjoy your week of wrestling. God bless. And always remember, I do it for you. I brought that back for y'all. Have a good night, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Solo.